Oh, oh, man. Well, Cam Young, before we get to sports news from the past week, Cam Young almost had the perfect shot right there. Still a really good shot on 18 to give him a chance to win the players. We talked about that last week, so thought appropriate to bring it up since it's also coming right down to the
Yeah.
wire. So. um, but
Yep. Welcome back, Cage Kiplinger, Logan Hubert. This is the KNL Sports Huddle with a live stream episode. It is Sunday, March 15th. Days finally come. Selection Sunday for the NCAA basketball tournament. 68 teams will be announced. We'll give our reaction to those teams who made it, as well as the seeding and the first round matchups. We'll also mix in some March Madness trivia for each of us to answer. And if y'all are following live, you guys can answer as well. But make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you prefer listening on Spotify, our link to the page is on our YouTube channel description. Logan, good to see you again this Sunday. I have a little bit of time before they announce those selections. So let's run through our first segment for some of the news that took place this past week.
Yeah, so this happened right after we recorded last week, but so it's kind of old news. But yeah, Max Crosby backing out of the Ravens deal. What did you think of that? I thought it was a little bit fishy, especially considering they signed Trey Hendrickson right after.
Yeah. I know the Colts were kind of involved with Hendrickson potentially being a part of that. Him coming over to the Colts. So, are you feeling like you let one slip away?
No, I actually never really wanted Hendrickson because I feel like he's getting old, and I feel like they would overpay. They would overpay him. I mean, now, I mean, they need somebody because they have nobody right now. But um, I just thought the whole thing, like, did he fail his physical? Because that's what the report is. But I've only seen that one place, and it's just been weird, and just how it's through a bunch of teams out of rhythm that who are going after Hendrickson, including my Colts. But I mean, it's not just the Colts; those other teams too. So I thought that was weird. I guess we're already getting reveals. They're already on it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, your Buckeyes are on the board. Oh man.
Nice. Let's go.
They played too well. I told you they played too well. They were a bubble team just a couple weeks ago, but
We got
St. John's is underseeded a little bit. Yeah, but Ohio State played too well where they got to the 8-9 line, which is not where you want to be. You'd rather be on that 10-11 seed line. But, man, what do you think of St. John's right there?
Yeah, we kind of played too well in a Big Ten tournament after. I was hoping we'd get maybe that ton, but we'll have to end up playing Duke if we can get past TCU.
Yeah.
East Region, Louisville, 6th seed.
Yeah, that's kind of about where I would have seeded them if kind of had an up and down year. South Florida just won a few minutes ago. Spartacus. Yeah, Purdue played too well for Michigan State, who I thought was probably comfortably on the 2 line uh, until the tournament, and then they probably were still fine until Purdue won it, and then that Purdue probably took their spot.
Yeah, I didn't catch too much of the Purdue Michigan game. How'd that one go? I've been watching the players
Yeah,
most of the afternoon.
very very physical game. Put it that way. I mean, Purdue played their best game all year. Didn't know going into it how seriously both teams would take it, considering you know they had really nothing to play for too much because I mean both solidified in the tournament and don't want to risk injury. But I mean both teams went all out, so it was a fun game to watch. Yeah, any any team that got UConn as a 2 seed in their region should feel. There we go.
There we go. Trying to
Yep.
put the live bracket up. That
Yeah.
was
There
taking a
we go.
minute.
Awesome. Yeah, it's right
There
on.
we go.
Yeah.
So here is your East region. I think they got it fully filled out now.
Yep.
Um, so UConn ends up getting the 2 line. So I think a lot of discussion was that fourth number 1 seed, with UConn taking a big defeat in their conference tournament. Florida taking the L against Vandy. Kind of who's that slot in now at the 4? Is that going to be Houston? Is that going to be Iowa State? I feel like it's going to be a Big 12 team.
I don't know. Both Houston and UConn had golden opportunities on Saturday to get that 1 seed, but they both took the L in their respective conference tournaments. So I still think Florida might get it just because their metrics are so good and they'd won so many games in a row and were probably due for a loss and finally got to them. But I mean, UConn is probably the most beatable out of the projected 1 and 2 seeds. So like the Michigan States and the Louisville's should in UCLA, frankly, should be pretty happy to get in that region because I don't know. I think UConn looks pretty gettable all year. They have a great record, but they also played in the weakest Big East ever. I mean, it was just UConn and St. John's, and that was it. That's Seton Hall's
Yeah.
not going to get in. Oh, Villanova, I guess, but Villanova will be a lower seed, but also a
What's
lackluster Big East tournament this year.
Yeah, I
Usually
agree.
that's the best tournament of the, but all the games are blowouts, and it was clear who the 2 best teams were. So
The best part of that was the arena, the
yeah,
Madison Square
you know,
Garden.
a lot of times it is, but and then we have great games on top of it. But,
Yeah. What's your favorite matchup here in the East Division, in the East region?
I mean, Northern, you always got to watch out for those Missouri Valley teams, and so Northern Iowa right there, and then St. John's, who, despite the great regular season and Big East tournament success they've had lately, not been great in the NCAA tournament. They were not very good last year, so I don't know. 5-12 matchups are always intriguing, and this one especially. So.
What do you think about Ohio State's chances of possibly making it to the second weekend? If they get Duke, obviously they're probably going to get Duke in the second round if they get
Sienna,
past
you
TCU.
can't
Well, it's not Rick Pitino coaching Sienna anymore.
yeah.
So, yeah, with Duke, they got a couple players out, probably most likely be out for the rest of the season, or at least these first couple of games. Do you think that gives Ohio State a better shot at it?
Yeah, I mean, it gives them a shot. I don't know. I thought Duke was the best team and they won their tournament, but they definitely looked gettable in the ACC tournament at times, especially with I mean the way Ohio State's finished their season. Um,
Right, they almost knocked off Michigan.
almost knocked off Michigan, won a bunch in a row, looked really well. Got revenge against Iowa after.
Yep.
So that was a big time win. So almost lost it. That one got way too close.
Yeah, we kind of almost let that one slip away. Maybe we would have been a 10 seed if we lost that game.
Yeah. What else we got? Yeah, you still don't really know what to make of Louisville. Like I was saying earlier, there's been times where they look pretty good, and other times not so much. And South Florida is going to be coming in with momentum after winning their conference tournament. So
Yep. Let's see, we got couple Big Ten, couple we got ACC, couple ACC. They're pretty balanced in this one. I don't feel like it's um, too heavy on one side or the other of this bracket. Duke,
three Big 12, uh, three Big 10, two Big East.
yeah, and Duke is the overall number one seed, correct? That's them getting this East region.
But
So
this year it really doesn't matter because all four of them are geographically spread out. That they're all going to get the region they want. So
yeah. Logan, let's fill in a gap here before they get to the next ones. You got any March Madness trivia that you have collected for this this live stream?
fairly simple one, and then there's who was the last number one overall pick to win the title in
the last overall number one pick. Shoot. I think here. Just trying to run through overall number one. Was it even this century?
Yes, it was this century. Yes.
Okay. That narrows it down. I don't know. Anthony Bennett, wasn't he on a Virginia team or something? Wasn't?
No,
where'd he come from?
He was on UNLV.
Oh, he was on UNLV. Yeah. I got nothing.
Though, in terms of time, what year it was, you're close. It was the year before Bennett, I believe.
Shoot. Kyrie Irving? Was it? No, he was out. No, the Duke didn't win.
I think the one right between those two.
Oh my! Anthony Davis. My
yes,
God.
It was Anthony
my
Davis.
God.
And then there were,
I should have known that one.
And then after Anthony Davis, there were, let's see, there's been three since Anthony Davis who made the Final Four. Could you name
three overall number one?
Three overall number ones who made the Final Four.
Was
since Anthony Davis.
Was Andrew Wiggins the number one?
He was, but they did not make the Final Four.
They didn't make the Final Four. Give them to me, Logan.
Two from Duke and one from Kentucky.
One from Kentucky. I'm just trying to think of overall number one picks. I just have to go through those. have to overall number one picks. Let me know when they start doing it looks like we're on to the West region, aren't we?
Yeah, nothing too notable here yet. Arizona's number 2 overall. Wisconsin split their way into a 5. Nearly taken down. They also nearly took down Michigan. So.
Let's see. Cooper Flag.
Yep.
Zion. Was that the other Duke one?
Almost.
No.
That was close. Almost. They were a Michigan State.
Paolo?
Yes, Paolo.
And then you said one Kentucky player. Oh, Towns.
Yep.
There we go.
So High Point was the trendy upset pick last year, and that did not happen. I bet there'll be a trendy upset pick again, considering under Greg Gard, Wisconsin's not really had much tournament success.
We got John Calipari's Arkansas at the 4 seed. Obviously made it to the Sweet 16 last year in his first season with the Razorbacks.
Just won the SEC tournament this year.
Yep.
Cuff's a heck of a player. So.
Obviously, Gonzaga getting in a 3 seed here. This seems like they always make the tournament. Feels like they probably should be upgraded to a better conference
They will,
at this point.
and they will. They will be. Um, I don't know. Is it like the new Pac-12 or something like that? I know they're not because
Yeah, they're taking teams from Mountain West and maybe a couple other conferences and
yeah,
trying to reform the Pac-12 and
which
try
I
to
mean,
keep it around.
yeah, which the Mountain West is a better conference than the Western Athletic or WAC or WCC, whichever. I don't remember which one they're in. One of those two that has St. Mary's in it.
Yeah, it's always those two in
Yeah.
the
Although
championship. Or
Santa Clara was pretty good this year. But other than that, yeah, it's like Pepperdine and Pacific and schools like that.
There's your Purdue Boilermakers getting the 2 seed.
They got the two
That's a
seed.
jump. They were projected in that three range, but I assume the Big Ten championship title probably helps with that.
Yep. Playing Queens, I believe first time tournament team. Miami has what's his name, Malik Renew, former IU basketball player, so it could be a little rematch there in the next round. Um, yeah, BYU.
Looks like
Who knows what to make of them? They have all the athleticism in the world, but man, they lay some absolute duds sometimes.
yeah. Hasn't been a clean season by them.
No.
I was seeing if we had the. I assume they're getting a play-in game.
Yeah, It's
Guess that's
Texas
not
and North
populating
Carolina.
here on the
Texas and
live
North
bracket.
Carolina State.
Well, the big question is Miami of Ohio going to make it in? That's the that's the question on everybody's minds after them losing in their conference tournament.
They would be
Bit
like
of
the
an
worst.
embarrassing loss to UMass.
Yeah, they would be like I think the worst ever like net rated team to ever get an at large bid. um, but I mean, it would just I think to me it'd just be an absolute mistake if you left them out. Else why have a regular season or why or if like you ever a team ever goes undefeated again like that, like with a weak schedule, why even play in your conference tournament if you lose you're out?
Mm,
Like why
right.
even like you just drop out of it? I mean,
At that point, a conference tournament just needs to be just a bonus, but it shouldn't hurt you,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Um, it's not really part of the regular season.
Yeah,
It's March basketball. It's the playoff basketball once you get to that point of the season. So, yeah, it's going to be up to the committee whether they value an undefeated season from a MAC team that really didn't play anybody, or a team like Auburn, who's been part of the biggest part of the discussion because the connection between Bruce Pearl and his comments, and trying to get them in the good graces of the committee, trying to get his
I mean,
son into the big dance.
I mean, the Florida win's nice. I'll give them that. But I mean, who all did they just absolutely get clobbered by? Purdue, I think Michigan. I mean, if they would have put up good fights in those games, then I would probably be more on the get Auburn in train, just because yeah, hard to get. Not every team has a hard schedule, but I mean, they just got clobbered by those teams. so I mean, sure. I mean, a small school should schedule a bunch of hard teams and then argue that they should be in because they had the hardest schedule. I mean, if that's the argument they're making, because I mean, and you just got to win at least a couple more of those.
Favorite matchup in the West region? What we got?
I mean, I'm interested to see what BYU is going to do against whoever they play because they're the most. They're probably they're the most up and down team in this region. Wisconsin gives them a run for their money, but I think Wisconsin's pretty hot right now. But BYU, yeah, I mean, there are times where they look great and DeBonza looks like the best player ever, and there's times where DeBonza still looks like a really good player, but no one else does, and then they get clobbered by 30. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
they have a really high ceiling, but also a really low floor, and so And yeah, Texas NC State's who they're going to play. I don't know when if that game will be Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'm liking any time we got John Calipari in the tournament. It's always a good first round matchup because unless Hawaii's got some Jack Golke guy on their team, that would be of concern for any team coached by John Calipari.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, yeah. Last year they had is one of Calipari's more successful runs, I would say, in a while, considering the disappointment he's had in the last few years with Kentucky. But so yeah, they look pretty good in the SEC tournament. So maybe they've got the right stuff.
Let's see. Texas NC State. Wonder if we can get like a little preview. Nice. All right. Not too much of a preview. So I've got a trivia question for you, Logan, and anybody in the chat that wants to answer it. What player is the NCAA tournament's all-time leading scorer? It's multiple choice, but I don't know if I want to give away the. I feel like it'd make it too easy once you know who the four are that I have listed here. But I've got the Big O, Oscar Robertson, Elvin Hayes, Danny Manning, and Christian Laettner.
I was wondering if someone from the Duke team would be on the Duke era from the early '90s. But, Michigan drew possibly UMBC.
Heading on to the Midwest region.
Last time we saw UMBC, they spoiled the Virginia's season. Surely Michigan can not pull a 28.
Right.
But you never know.
Akron, I feel like is a potential upset over Texas Tech.
And like Miami, Ohio, it's not Miami of Ohio's not really played anybody. Well, they did beat Akron, and Akron's a pretty good team. So
yeah, and with Texas Tech not having JT Toppin on the roster, I think that kind of hurts them when it comes to tournament time. They've been able to play well without him up to this point, but I think when in these just one and done format. This could be a potential upset. That's one that I'm going to be looking at whenever I'm filling out my bracket. Getting the 6th seed Tennessee Volunteers, and they're going to get. Oh, there they are, Miami of Ohio. There we go. They get in. They're going to be a play-in team. My God. How they drop from being an undefeated team, absolute lock, and one loss puts them in the play-in. That's
man. I was hoping,
tough break.
I was hoping it'd be Auburn that they'd play in the play-in. That would be the most watched play-in game in history. Oh, they just said on the CBS that they were the last at-large team selected. So, which makes sense. I mean, like you got to look at both ways. Like I said, they're going to be the worst rated team to ever get an at-large bid, but they have to a team that goes undefeated in the regular season. You got to reward that. So it's fitting to get the last spot.
Ooh, Kentucky and Santa Clara. That could be an interesting matchup. Kentucky has been probably the worst $20 million roster that we've ever seen. Probably the only one we've probably seen in college basketball, but maybe worse than some NBA teams.
Yeah, Santa Clara was one of the unusual third team from the Western from Gonzaga's conference to get in. It's usually just Gonzaga and St. Mary's.
So Iowa State gets the 2 seed, so they're not going to be moving up to the 1 spot, which leaves probably who for Houston?
Florida will be the one. Well, it's going to be Florida or Houston. One of those teams will be the one, the other will be the 2 seed. So
I think I'd probably still give it to Florida despite the loss to Vandy.
I would too. Okay, looking at this region, I mean, Kentucky is always one of the more compelling. Every year is just one of the more compelling teams in the tourney. This year, no different because they've also been an up and down team all year. Obviously, a disappointment, like you said, when you spend $20 million on a roster, you would expect better than 21-13 and a 7 seed, which might be a little high in my opinion, anyways. But or yeah, if you want to low, whatever you want to say it. So yeah, and then Santa Clara is a good team, good underrated squad.
I have the sound off, and I don't know what Bruce Pearl's saying right now. If he's talking about Miami of Ohio and Auburn,
Not yet. They're going
I
over
feel
the
like
top.
he'll probably will be.
Virginia's been a fun team to watch this year because it's not usual Virginia basketball. They actually have offense. Uh, it's not like the team that
It's not the Tony Bennett or
not the
the
Tony Bennett
yeah.
era. Anyway, and of course, the most compelling story is that it's UMBC's old coach, the coach that beat them as a 16 seed, who's their head coach, and he's brought them back from success because they've been in a lull here lately. So good for Virginia, and it makes because it's good for the ACC because last year it was just an awful conference. It was Duke and nobody else. Okay, so what are big teams that haven't been named yet? We already mentioned Nebraska's one. Nebraska's going to be Nebraska will probably be the 3 seed. Houston will be 2, I bet. Florida will be 1. Who else? Who am I forgetting?
Well, we kind of agree that a big name, maybe not a big team this year, but Indiana probably not making the tournament this year. I would assume.
And with how weak the bubble was this year, all they had to do was beat Northwestern one of those 2 times, right. And they just couldn't do it. They had a horrible end of the year. I thought most of their losses this year were just due to just not skilled. Like it just wasn't. They just weren't not good enough players. But the Northwestern loss, that looked effort. That looked like effort to me. That was just a lack of effort and lack of caring, and it was really a depressing way for IU to go out, especially on the route of a successful football season. So,
right,
yeah, Indiana and Nebraska have just traded places. It seems like when it comes to football and basketball. So.
Yeah, I can hear all the Indiana Hoosier fans saying, "Oh, we're a football school."
Yeah, and I would say you are right. That's what it's been looking like. But man, who am I? I'm trying to think of who else. What all Big Ten teams are left? Just Nebraska or Iowa. Yeah, we haven't heard
Iowa. I definitely want to see Bennett Sturts in the NCAA tournament. He's
there'll be a 9 or a 10, I bet. Illinois. Oh yeah, I bet no. Illinois is going to be the 3. I bet Illinois will be the 3 and Nebraska will be the 4. That's going to be how that ends up. And then Houston 2, Florida 1. That's North Carolina will be the 5. I bet.
Yeah.
We'll see if I may have just called that. Hopefully.
So your seedings are give me 1 through 5?
Florida, Houston, Illinois, Nebraska, North Carolina.
Okay. Let's see if that tracks.
Let's see if I can think of anybody else who would be sick. And then Iowa's going to be 9. They're not a 9, they'll be a 10.
All right, Logan. What team won both their semifinal and championship games in triple overtime to take the title in 1957?
1957. So that would be. It wasn't San Francisco, was it? I think that was 56.
No, no,
Okay.
no. Bill Russell was already in the league. Sorry.
Yeah, it was close. I think that was like 56, 57. Was it? Was it Kentucky? Was it a Kentucky team?
It was Kentucky.
It was a Kentucky team. Okay. Yeah.
No, it was North Carolina. Sorry
Oh,
about
it was
that.
North Carolina.
Yeah, they won 2 consecutive triple overtime games to win that title. North Carolina, Michigan State semifinal game, and North UNC Kansas. Both made USA Today's list of the greatest NCAA tournament games of all time at 11-6.
I bet Prairie View A&M is going to be a 16. That was. I watched a lot of conference championships, and that was probably the worst team. Yeah, okay, I was right. That was probably the worst team I saw win a conference championship. And yep, there they are, 16 in the play-in games.
So Florida, deservedly so, gets that the final 1 seed here in the South region. So I think they're, compared to UConn, Houston, Iowa State,
Iowa,
Michigan State.
But yeah, and Florida is still very dangerous. North Carolina is going to be a 6. Forgot about Vanderbilt. I guess the injury to what's his name? Geez, why am I blanking on his name?
Caleb.
Yeah, probably had an impact on that.
McNeese, we're back with McNeese. They were the big upset last year as well. Actually, one that was a pretty popular pick. I think we both picked them last year.
Yeah,
in our brackets. So
they just Clemson looked like the 12 seed in that game. That was I remember.
Yeah,
McNeese just punked them. Big story with Nebraska. This has been like their best year ever, and they're still looking for their first ever NCAA tournament win. So
I think it happens this year for them.
Better. Troy is not a bad team by any means.
But Nebraska's had a great year. Fred Hoiberg's has done an incredible job with that program, and was definitely up for kind of the Coach of the Year honors. Definitely Big Ten at least. But yeah,
he won coaches. I think he won the coaches vote, and then Dusty May won the media vote.
Illinois 3.
Man, that's tough for them because if North Carolina beats VCU, that game's in Greenville, South Carolina. So
it's basically a home game for the Tar Heels.
Man, you don't see that too often.
And Penn is coached by the old Iowa.
Yeah, I am so glad that they're playing a Big Ten team. It's only fitting.
He's gonna have a lot of experience against the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, they made a good Yale team today.
There's Houston, number 2 seed. Playing in OKC. So taking a minute for the live bracket on the stream to update, but we do have the full bracket now. Looking at this South region, I love this Clemson Iowa matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Usually 8-9s are great matchups anyway, but when you get to top conference teams and a couple teams that are kind of like big game hunters in their conference, they're able to knock off some really good teams within their respective conferences. And I just love watching Bennett Sturts for Iowa. His game against Ohio State, him and Bruce Thornton were going back and forth that whole game. That was a very fun one to watch, and he's got a sweet stroke.
Sweet stroke. And could you imagine how bad that Iowa team would be without him? Because sure,
Yeah,
because he plays the entire game, and
yeah,
yeah, the rest of the guys that would feed off of him. Else, sure, that would be a bottom team, bottom tier Big Ten team. But yeah, I mean, it's always the 5-12 matchups that are just that just scream at you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Vanderbilt, I mean, a lot of times you see like the hot team in the conference tournament, and then they come out flat in the NCAA tournament. And I mean, Vanderbilt may have had one of the best wins of the weekend against Florida, beating a super hot Florida team. So um, could they lay an egg against McNeese? McNeese knows how to pull off upsets, even though it's an entirely different team than last year. Because I think
yeah. New coach too.
most of those guys followed Will Wade to North Carolina State,
Yeah,
who's also an attorney. So
yep.
keep that in
A lot,
mind.
a lot of connections in this tournament because we had such a crazy coaching carousel from last year. All right, so we got the full
They're
bracket.
sharing the screen. So SEC got 10 teams in, Big 10 got 9, ACC 8,
Okay,
Big 12 8, and then yeah, Big East and the West Coast Conference both had 3. It's first
so
4
that
out: Oklahoma, Auburn, San Diego State, and Indiana in that order. So, um,
yeah, the Indiana just didn't do enough during the regular season. They could have done something in the Big Ten tournament to help their case, but just didn't have the right stuff for this
you
year.
kind
But
of, in a way, you kind of feel for San Diego State because
yeah,
they they their game the night before. I mean, they played 2 games. They played 2 games in one day. I mean, they really did. Because for some reason they start those. I know you can say, oh, it's on the West Coast. They start late, but it was still abnormally late for a West Coast time, and it tipped off at about midnight Eastern. So that would have been 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time, which is absurdly late. And then they played North New Mexico in a very close game, and then like 14, 15 hours later, they had to play Utah State, and gave them a good game. And unfortunately, yeah, they're the third team out. So yeah, they need to relook at how they do the times for that Mountain West tournament. That's just ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. Fun to watch if you
Fun to
can stay
watch,
up for
but
them.
man, that just yeah. I mean, a team like San Diego State on the bubble. I mean, that's just too much to overcome, in my opinion. Not want to make excuses, but still.
All right. Logan, let's get in a little bit more March Madness trivia. And we got about like 20 or so minutes. We can start talking early picks, who we like for the Final Four, potential upsets, stuff like that. So I'll give you one here. So how many consecutive March Madness titles did the UCLA Bruins win? This would have been during that John Wooden era.
Yeah, they won several. Then I forget who. One team like won, was it like NC State or somebody who won one like in between them, and then I think UCLA won one
Yeah,
more after that. Was it 5 or 6, or maybe even was it 6?
it,
I'm gonna say
it
6.
was actually 7.
Oh, 7.
Um,
Okay.
So John Wooden led the Bruins to 10 national titles in 12 seasons from 64 to 75, including the 7 straight from 67 to
Okay.
73. They went
Yeah,
undefeated a record 4 times in 64, 67, 72, and 73. Basically the Celtics of college basketball during that time.
yeah, they had a couple of decent players. I'd say decent during that run. Lou Alcindor and Bill Walton. Yeah, I mean, like some guys that might be somewhat high on the all-time best NCAA players. So, okay, I listed all because I got curious and I just listed all the seeds and how far each has made each has made it since 1985 when the tournament fully expanded to the 64 we know now. So since 1985, there have been 26 one seeds win it all. So let's see, 85 was 40. 1 years ago. So 26 out of the 41 have been 1 seeds. There have been 5 2 seeds winning it. Do you know who the last one was?
5 2 seeds to
Five two
win it.
seeds, and the last one who won
Oh man.
gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
Oh, villain! That was one of the best
Yeah.
national championship games ever.
Yep.
Still lives rent free in my mind. Villanova.
Yep. And then there have been 4 3 seeds win it all. The last one to do it was 2011 UConn, and I remember that game was just boring as heck. But it should have been great because it was against 8 seed Butler, but there was just no offense in that game. It was just sloppy. Yeah. 2 4 seeds. 2023 UConn, and the 97 Arizona, who remains to be the only team to have ever knocked off to beat 3 1 seeds in a single tournament. So pretty impressive. One, which is crazy because a 6, a 7, and 8 have all won. But yeah, no, there have been 4 runner-up 5 seeds, but none have ever won. And then, do you know who that 8 seed was?
It was UConn. Was that the Kevin Ollie led UConn
Nope,
team?
that was the only 7 seed who won.
Oh man, no, I don't know who the 8 seed was.
The 85 Villanova team who upset Patrick Ewing's Georgetown in the title game. And then in the 9, the 10, and 11, the nines, this is just absurd. Nine seeds made 2 Final Fours. 2013 Wichita State with Van Vliet and Cle Anthony Early and Ron Baker. That team was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then 2023 Florida Atlantic. There's just been one 10 seed make the Final Four, which was 2016 Syracuse. But there's been 6 11 seeds make the Final Four. So that's just crazy that that many more 11 seeds have made it than 9 and 10 seeds.
So you're talking like probably Loyola Chicago was probably one of those 11.
Loyola, North Carolina State with DJ Burns just a couple of years ago. UCLA in the COVID tournament, who almost knocked off Gonzaga in that when Jalen Suggs hit that half-court shot. And then 06 George Mason. VCU, Shaka Smart's VCU team.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy 11 seeds going to run. And then 12 seed, 2 Elite Eights have happened. Last to do it was Oregon State in 2021. 13 seed has been to 6 Sweet 16s. Last to do it was LaSalle in 2013. 14 seed, 2 times have made the Sweet 16. None since 1997. And then, of course, the 15 seed, St. Peter's went on their magical run to the Elite Eight, knocking off Kentucky, San Francisco, and Purdue. Just one of the most absurd runs you'll ever see. And then 2 16 seeds have knocked off a 1 seed, but neither one of them made it out of the next round.
Yeah, UMBC and who was the other one?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
against your Purdue Boilermakers. That was one of the Zach Edey teams.
Yeah, my memory from that game was that he actually made Edey look better because they triple teamed him that entire game, and they just dared Purdue's other guys to shoot. Like, I don't care how big you are, if you're triple teamed, like,
yeah,
you're but I mean, the other 4 guys in your team should clearly step up.
Right.
None of them did.
Yeah, which I can't talk. Ohio State was I think a 2 seed a few years ago. I think the last time they were in the tournament.
That Oral Roberts team though was actually a really good team.
Max Amos, the little guard, the point guard.
Who was that? They had another guy too who went to play for Texas Tech, who was like a really good contributor too.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah, I remember Amos just lighting us up from deep.
To me, that might have been the least shameful two lost to 15 because that Oral Roberts team was legitimately a good team. They made it to the Sweet 16 and almost made it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. All right, let's go region by region. Let's get some early picks and little maybe advice for anyone who watches this now or later. We'll start in this East region. Duke, the 1 seed. Obviously, I'm probably going to end up taking them. Maybe a couple rounds. as much as I love my Buckeyes, I don't know that I could reasonably take them over Duke and have them going into the next weekend. What do you have with this little pocket here at the top of the East region?
Yeah, you said it best. Can't overlook TCU though if you're Ohio State because any Big 12 team is going to be feisty no
Yeah.
matter how far down they are in the standings.
Okay, so looking at the St. John's, UNI, and then Kansas and Cal Baptist. I don't know anything about Cal Baptist as a basketball program, but I would just uh, be wary about this game. It's not going to be one on a lot of people's radar because I mean I'm sure not many people who even just uh, watch basketball pretty heavily probably don't even know the first thing about this team. But what we do know about Kansas is that they are one of the most inconsistent teams in the country. We don't know when Darren Peterson's going to play, if he's going to play half the game, if he's going to come out in the second half for some reason or another. But this will be one I'd be looking at as a potential upset spot.
Cal Baptist first time in the tournament. I think they're one of the two teams. I think them and Queens are the two teams who are making their first ever appearance. But I mean, they're a decent team. I watched a little bit of them, and they're not like one of the jokes of the of the small
Right.
conference winners. And yeah, like Kansas. Well, not just this season. Since their championship, I mean, their tournament resume has not been great at all. Yeah,
No.
last year they lost to Arkansas in the first round. The year before that, they should have lost to Samford, or at least that game should have gone to overtime. And then they got clobbered by Gonzaga. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see Kansas Cal Baptist being close. But like I said, St. John's though, I mean, this is, I mean, you have to have success in the tournament this year, and by success, I just mean
Yeah.
getting to the
Second
second.
weekend.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, just you've had this much success with Patino so far, with this little tournament success, you got to step up your game.
Okay, so I think for my bracket, I probably will end up taking Cal Baptist, which means I'll probably end up taking St. John's into Sweet 16 against Duke. Are you on a similar track? Or
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go St. John's. I'm gonna assume Kansas wins though. As much as I like Missouri Valley Conference teams, Northern Iowa was the sixth seed in their
Yeah.
conference. If this was Belmont and we thought it was going to be, then oh boy, that would be just licking your chops. I wanted to pick that upset, but I think this is the year St. John's breaks out of their tournament funk.
Looking at the bottom half of the East region, I like Michigan State. I honestly like Michigan State to go to the Sweet 16. Um, South Florida could be a potential upset spot for Louisville. 6-11s are, again, another one of those seeding matchup that you want to look at for potential upsets. So I don't know if I'll end up picking that one, but I think whatever the case may be, I'll pick the Spartans to go into the Sweet 16. And in the bottom half, I like UCLA. They've had a pretty decent stretch here to close out the season, and then obviously I'm going to take UConn. You can't predict 15 and 16 seeds winning in the first round. You just have to go with what you assume will happen. We'll pick UConn there.
I like UCLA.
UCLA UConn matchup will be interesting if it happens.
Especially, I mean, Tyler Bilodeau, he got hurt in the tournament, and then Donovan Dent also got hurt, but I think it was mostly safety precautions leaving them sit. So they're going to have extra rest. They've looked pretty good down the stretch in the Big Ten, and their role guys gave Purdue a heck of a fight yesterday on Saturday. So yeah, and I don't trust UConn at all this year. They've been flirting with disaster several times this year against bad Big East teams, and a couple times it's bitten them. And then St. John's just destroyed them in the Big East championship. So yeah, I don't really like UConn this year. It's nothing like those two champions they had uh, to, I guess, not last year, but the 2 years before that. So, yeah, I like UCLA. Coming into
I'm
this.
probably leaning that way too. That'd be a good little second round upset with the 10 seeds. So I think ultimately I like Michigan State to come out of this bracket. I think with Duke's injury, um, the stuff going on with a couple of their players, I think that could hurt them as they get deeper and have to play better teams. I could see St. John's beating them, but St. John's has been a little inconsistent. A lot of inconsistent top teams in this bracket, which helps out Duke. But I like Michigan State under Tom Izzo. It's always a you know a model of consistency for them making the tournament, and he hasn't won one in a long time, but he got one pretty early on. So I do like Michigan State to come out of this one to make the Final Four.
I'm going to go Duke. This would be, assuming if it's Michigan State Duke, this would be a rematch of the 2019 Elite Eight matchup where Cassius Winston and company upset Zion Williamson's Duke team by 1 point. That was a heck of a tournament game. So, but Duke's just been really good all year, and yeah, I'm going to go chalk here and just go Duke, and Duke makes it out of the East region.
All right, let's look at the West. Let's try to expedite this a little bit faster for these next three regions so we can end on time here. But Arizona, the 1 seed, I actually like them to at least get to the Elite Eight, make it through that top half of this region. Purdue's interesting because they just had a great Big Ten tournament. What do you think about them coming out of this bracket?
Yeah,
Here as the 2 seed?
Last time they won the Big Ten tournament, they lost as a 1 seed to a 16 seed. So do keep that in mind. That doesn't always bode well for the tournament, the NCAA tournament. But but they were the preseason #1, and they're playing like it now. So definitely a dangerous team. I like their draw with Gonzaga as the 3 because this is not a dominant Gonzaga team by any means. I like, man, Wisconsin has been said as to be like the team that could either lose in the round of 64 or could make an Elite Eight. And yeah, I think Wisconsin at their best could beat Arizona just because of what we've seen Wisconsin do this year, winning at Michigan, winning at Illinois, almost beating Michigan again.
Yeah.
So, and Arizona, not the most trustworthy team in the tournament over the last 15 years.
That's true.
They've had a lot of disappointments in the tourney. So, with how dominant they've looked, I would be hesitant. I'm gonna have to go Purdue just because I'm a homer, and else would be all chalk, and I can't do all chalk. But
yeah, we got a couple of those.
Yeah, watch out for
couple of those
yeah,
with Arkansas. Couple of those untrustworthy teams in Arizona and Gonzaga. Gonzaga in the tournament usually gets bitten at some point early on. Yeah, this could end up being a Wisconsin-Purdue Elite Eight game that could decide who goes to the Final Four.
Or High Point could easily beat Wisconsin. I can see that happening too. I mean,
I'm going to go Arizona. I'm going to go with the 1 seed this time. I think they break through. I know their history and the tournament hasn't been great, but I think this time around we'll see. I might change my mind once I end up making my official bracket, but we'll see what happens there. But let's go down here to the South and Midwest regions. Let's start with the South, Florida, the 1 seed here. Honestly, a pretty tough bracket in terms of the top seeds that they would have to deal with. And coming off a loss to Vandy, they could be seeing them again if both teams make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. I'm going to go Houston comes out of this one. I guess this sets up for a finals rematch if this goes chalk. I mean, Illinois has all the potential in the world. I mean, they have the size, they have the eight, like they have
their offense does.
They have a dynamic guard in Wagler, But man, they're similar to Arizona, where they just no matter how good they look, a lot of times they just find a way to lose somewhere in the tournament. So, um, but I think any one of those top three teams, if you told me one of those top three teams won this region, I wouldn't be surprised because with Illinois at their best, they could knock off both Houston and Florida. Big if that is a big if though, and yeah, the other story is Nebraska. I mean, can they break through finally? Can they get their first tournament win? I hope so because
Yeah.
they're a fun team to watch when they're all hitting threes. So, but
Yeah, I'll be looking out for in this bracket potential upset with Penn taking down Illinois just because of McCaffrey's history with them.
and that one guy just dropped 44 points in
Yeah,
their championship
that's
against.
just like
Yeah,
the perfect recipe for a Illinois team who's not been very good defensively. They
no,
great offense, but this could end up being a shootout where Penn could end up taking it. It's a potential upset spot. I do like, man, I still like Florida even though they lost to Vandy. I still think they earned this number one seed, and for good reason. It's a tough conference that they've absolutely dominated for the better part of the year. Obviously, the conference that got the most bids this year with 10. So, yeah, I like Florida to come out of this. It'd be a good matchup if they end up with Houston in the Elite Eight. But I'll take Florida because when Florida wins championships, they do it back to back. That's what
that
history
is
has told
true.
us. So
Yeah,
we could potentially seeing that again. So let's look at the Midwest region. Michigan, the 1 seed, Iowa State, the 2 seed. Man, I thought Michigan was just a lock to win the Big Ten conference tournament. And then Ohio State gave them a great game. And then obviously they ended up losing to Purdue in the title game, but still feel really good about them come tournament time.
this is a very easy path to the Elite Eight for Michigan. Like I don't see any of those teams in that part of the
No.
bracket giving them trouble at all. If Texas Tech had Toppin, yes, I would say
Yeah.
that, but they do not.
But then
Alabama,
again, Texas Tech would probably be like a 3 seed then or
yeah,
4 seed.
yeah. Alabama, I do not trust at all. And then, yeah, Michigan should. But I mean, St. Louis is going to be fun to watch if they beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Uh, they got Indiana State's old guy, Robbie Avelia, and then so yeah, that could be a fun matchup. But yeah, Michigan's usually make the Elite Eight. The bottom half, man, Iowa State, Virginia could be a very good Sweet 16 game because I think Virginia's pretty good. Their schedule wasn't great. Like if you look at their record, you might wonder why they're a 3 seed, not like a 2. But it's just because their strength of schedule wasn't great compared to some of the other teams. But I still think they're a very good team. Um, man, I almost think Virginia could take out Iowa State and set up a Michigan Virginia Elite Eight matchup with Michigan prevailing.
Yeah, watch out for Virginia. This is a very different Virginia team than what we're used to. Definitely gave Duke all they can handle. And then, I mean, potential upsets, Santa Clara over Kentucky. I know it's only 10-7, but it's a major against a mid-major. So
Akron's been a upset pick over the last several tournaments because they've made the tournament in the last 3 or 4 years, I believe, but they just haven't been able to get it done. Really haven't been close to getting it done either. So
yeah,
I like Texas. I don't like this fight. I think that trend continues in Texas Tech beats Akron. So.
Yeah, the popular 5-12s usually don't end up happening unless you're talking. What was it last year? The Memphis, Colorado State, I believe.
Oh yeah,
because their best player, Memphis's best player, was out.
But that was an exception, yeah, because like I said, their best player was out. So and you could say,
Yeah.
oh well, Texas Tech's best player is out. Yeah,
True.
but they've been playing without him for a few games, and
Yeah.
they beat Iowa. Yeah, they beat Iowa State without him. So this is still
Yeah.
a dangerous team. Well, not super dangerous, but a team that I don't think would go down to a 12 seed.
Well, I guess I like Michigan coming out of this one at least right now. Again, a Michigan Virginia, Michigan Iowa State matchup would be interesting, but I think Michigan from top to bottom, guards, forwards, they got one of the best front courts in college basketball. I could see Michigan definitely taking this one to the Final Four, which for me that would put it at Arizona 3 1 seeds making it to the Final Four. I don't know if that'll happen. We did get 4 last year, but we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
I think this is close to another chalk year. I think in the era of NIL and transferring that there will be
Might be the
closer.
trend.
It'll be the trend. I mean, sure, it'll get a big upset every now and then, but yeah, I have two seeds and 2 1 seeds, and then I'm going to go Houston beats Duke and Michigan gets revenge on Purdue. So sets up a Houston versus Michigan final game, and uh, I every year I tell myself I'm not taking a Big Ten team because somehow, some way they find a way to lose. But Michigan's just been very good all year, and uh, I think this loss in the Big Ten tournament's going to feel them. That might be a good thing for them. I'm going to take Michigan to win it all this year.
Okay. I like Florida to go back to back. Like I said, when they win back to back, and we'll see. They definitely had a really strong season, especially after the rough start. But I just like the Gators this year. A lot of inconsistent teams throughout the top of the top tier in college basketball. So I think opens the floodgates for Florida to be able to take this one. It is preliminary. I haven't filled out the bracket yet, but you and I will both fill out our brackets. We'll get those posted onto our social medias so people can see who we've picked. And that's pretty much it. That was kind of fun. Our first live stream, just kind of following along with it. I'm glad I was able to have this up as they updated it live. I didn't know if they were going to, if it was going to be till the very end whenever they put all the teams up on here, but thankfully that made it interesting for the stream. But we'll try to do this again for some other events throughout the year. Pick and choose ones that seem right for the podcast. But that's the show. It's been the KNL Sports Huddle. I'm Cage Kiplinger. That's Logan Hubert. We'll be back next week. We won't be doing a recording tomorrow as usual. This will basically fill in for our weekly episode, but you'll get us the following week on Monday. We'll be reacting to the first and second rounds, which is one of the best weekends in college basketball. So next week we'll huddle up for that. See y'all.